I almost threw this journal out within a month of using it. After buying it with such high hopes, I found myself staring at empty pages, feeling like I had failed at yet another thing. If you are juggling deadlines, school pickups, and still trying to be present with your family, you probably have a beautiful journal somewhere with more blank pages than filled pages in your journal. And every time you see it, that little voice whispers, add it to the list of things you can't keep up with. But what if those empty pages are not failure at all? What if they are evidence of a full life being lived? What if your journal becomes the one place where imperfection isn't just accepted, but also celebrated? Today, I'm sharing my honest Hobonichi journey, not the Instagram version, but the real one. I will show you exactly how I transformed journaling from another thing I'm failing at to the most meaningful 5 minutes of my day without adding more to your full plate. Let's dive in. So this is my Hobonichi Hon in A5 size, kind of chunky, filled with memories, and honestly, wonderfully imperfect. When I bought this journal toward the end of last year, I had this grand vision. 2025 is going to be the year I journal every single day. Sound familiar? We set these expectations for ourselves, don't we? Another item on our endless to-do list. Well, spoiler alert, that didn't exactly happen. And you know what? I'm completely at peace with that. I still remember the excitement I felt when I first got my hands on this Hobonichi on A5. The paper quality, the layout, those daily pages just waiting to be filled. And I was determined to make this work between filming my content, school pickups, and dinner prep, and my other non-stop daily chores. The first 2 weeks went great. I was journaling consistently, feeling accomplished, but then life happened. January was the month where I was busy with handling things after my father's death, so ultimately I was very exhausted as I was driving back and forth to my mom's house, to mine, making sure that my daughter is managed, my family is managed, and at the same time, all the other things that was related to my father and my mom is taken care of as well. So when I looked at the blank pages that was judging me, that familiar feeling of guilt started creeping in. The same one I felt about the unanswered emails, the meal planning that I have postponed, the exercise routine that I have abandoned. We are always expecting perfection when we are juggling a million responsibilities. But on that day, something shifted in my perspective. I realized my true motivation wasn't about maintaining a perfect streak or creating Instagram-worthy journal pages. It was much simpler and more profound. I wanted to preserve memories that otherwise disappear in the whirlwind of our busy lives. Between managing my business, keeping up with household responsibilities, and being present for my family, my mental bandwidth is maxed out. Without documentation, special moments just vanish. That time, my daughter said something hilariously wise beyond her years during breakfast. The quiet afternoon that I spent with my mom sharing stories I'd never heard before. My husband's thoughtful gesture after I had a particularly exhausting day. I know you feel these too. That frustration when you can't remember the details of a beautiful moment just weeks after it happened because your mind is so full of schedules, deadlines, and to-do lists. For example, like this entry here, it was nothing extraordinary. But it was the day my mom, siblings, and I were all together for dinner. The only person missing was my father. Reading this brings back sweet memories because we rarely have time for each other. Through these words, I can see that we made time that day and shared wonderful conversations and stories during dinner. Without this journal, that memory might have blurred into just another normal dinner instead of remaining this rich, detailed moment I can revisit anytime. That's when I understood that this journal isn't about checking another box on my productivity list. It's about creating a space where memories can live outside my overwhelmed mind. So once I shifted my perspective, those empty pages stopped haunting me. Instead, they became a reminder that sometimes between work deadlines and family needs, journaling just won't happen, and that's perfectly okay. Some days are spent racing between my work and school pickups. Some nights I'm too exhausted after putting everyone else's needs first all day, and I simply don't have the energy to journal. And I've learned that forcing it only creates entries that feel like another task to check off rather than a genuine reflection. There was such freedom in releasing myself from the pressure. These blank pages, they are not failures, they are just evidence of a full life being lived. They are part of my authentic story as a woman trying to balance career ambitions with family life. Looking ahead, I have been considering switching to an undated planner like Sterling Ink, but for now, I have made peace with my Hobonichi's empty spaces. They remind me that I am allowed to prioritize rest sometimes, that not everything needs to be documented to be meaningful. So, one of the main reasons I chose the A5 size was for its decorating space. My regular planner is strictly for functional, my video uploading, deadlines, family appointments, household management, all business and no fun. But this journal, this is where I reclaim my creative side that often gets lost in the day-to-day responsibilities. I love stealing 20 minutes in the evening after the house has finally quieted down to sit with my washi tape, stickers, and markers, transforming a blank page into something beautiful. For those of us constantly in service to others, our clients, our families, our homes, this small act of creation becomes almost rebellious. It's saying, this space is mine and I get to make it beautiful just for me. Look at the spread from my daughter's birthday. The colors and decorations reflect the joy of that chaotic, wonderful day in a way my tired words alone couldn't capture. Or the simple coffee date with my best friend, just a few stickers and some washi tape that somehow perfectly encapsulate the rare, rejuvenating feeling of adult conversation without interruptions. This creative aspect has become my microform of self-care. It's not a spa day. Where do we ever actually get those, right? But these small moments of artistic expression help me to reconnect with myself beyond my roles as entrepreneur, mother, wife, and household manager. So, my journaling experience completely transformed when I started incorporating photographs thanks to my Canon IX20 printer. Between managing work projects and family responsibilities, this simple tool helps me to quickly capture visual memories without another complicated system. There is something powerful about flipping through these pages during a stressful day and seeing not just my words but visual snapshots of why it all matters. Like this day at my daughter's performance, it was one of our proudest moments watching her on stage. Every time I look at this, I can relive the moment of watching her singing. For us busy women constantly toggling between professional mode and mom mode, these visual anchors help us remember that behind all the stress and responsibility are these beautiful moments that make it worthwhile. Sometimes when I'm feeling burnt out from trying to do it all, just opening a random page with a family photo brings an immediate perspective shift. I experienced the true power of journaling after my father passed away late last year. Between managing grief and maintaining normalcy for my family and business, I felt completely overwhelmed. About 3 months after his passing, I had this incredibly vivid dream. I saw him coming through what looked like a portal, and I ran to him crying and hugging him. It felt so real, so healing. When I woke up, I immediately reached for my journal and documented everything, the emotions, the setting, even sketching what that portal looked like. And this entry is perhaps the most precious one in this entire book. For us women who often carry the emotional labor for our entire families, having a private space to process our own grief is invaluable. I was so focused on being strong for everyone else that I almost didn't allow myself this moment of vulnerability. If I had just made a note on my phone between emails or told someone about it while multitasking, those details would have just faded. But here, preserved in ink and paper, is a moment with my father that transcended even death. It's a reminder that even in our busiest seasons, making space for emotional processing, it's not selfish, but it is essential. This is when I truly understood why physical journaling resonates with me so deeply. Digital notes gets buried in folders alongside work documents and family to-do list. But this book, I can hold it. I feel the pages where my tears fell that morning, see the slightly shaky handwriting as I process such powerful emotions. There's an intimacy to it that our productivity-focused digital lives simply cannot replicate. If you are a busy woman inspired to start journaling but wondering how to fit it into your already packed schedule, I want to leave you with the most important lesson that I have learned. There are no rules except for the one that works for your real life. I journal mostly at night after my daughter is asleep, sometimes in the morning with my coffee before everyone wakes up, occasionally during lunch breaks between my work, whenever I can carve out the time. Some weeks I am consistent, some weeks I'm not, and back journaling has become my best friend, catching up on multiple days at once when the house is quiet and my memory is still fresh. So, for those of us who manage careers, households, and the never ending mental load that comes with it all, perfect consistency is a myth. The beauty of a journal is that it's yours. Nobody else gets to decide what it should look like or when you should write in it. Whether you fill every page or only capture the extraordinary moments, whether you write pages of reflection or just bullet points of what has happened between meetings and school events, it's all valid. What matters is creating something that your future self will treasure. A record that says, even in the chaos of doing it all, I was present. I noticed. I lived. It's proof that amidst the endless responsibility, you were also building a beautiful life that is worth remembering. So, if you wanted to start journaling but felt intimidated by the perfect journals that you see online, or if you think you are too busy to add one more thing into your to-do list, take this as your permission to be gloriously, authentically imperfect. You can start today, you can start tomorrow, start whenever, but just start. Your future self will thank you for all those memories that you have preserved, not the pages that you have filled. I want to thank you for sharing this journey with me, and I would love to hear about your journaling experience. Until next time, keep planning, keep creating, and remember, you are doing better than you think. Bye.